Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have probably my most requested video yet. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this has been a process that has taken quite a couple of months, but today we're gonna be giving you guys a run through of everything that goes on here in the office, as well as give you guys a little bit more of a behind the scenes look of how I create all the sets and backdrops to film every single type of content we do here in this house. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Now, as soon as you guys walk up to the second floor, you guys can clearly see we have a pretty massive open office space. Coming from a place like New York where I really only had space for about one desk, the fact that I now have 3 massive standing desks has been crucial to ensure that we're all staying productive, maximizing our workflow efficiency, which has all been fostered by having such an open workspace. Now, right over here, this is probably one of my favorite corners of the entire house, because in any space I've lived in, I've always wanted a place where I could store all my gear. Now, one of the first investments I decided to make was actually going to be in this entire gear chest right here, which has probably been one of the biggest game changers for me to store all my gear and know exactly where everything is, so that anytime I need to shoot, I can quickly grab the exact piece of gear I need. Now, I've spent quite a lot of time organizing this very meticulously, but probably my favorite addition is going to be this drawer right here, which actually has custom cutout cubes for all my cameras and lenses, and it just makes it really easy for me. Anytime I need to swap out a lens or swap out a camera body, I know exactly where everything is. And then obviously above that is going to be our pegboard. This is pretty much built for me to store any of the miscellaneous camera gear or equipment that doesn't need to be in the drawers. So for example, right here we've got a battery charging station which has mounts for all my different types of batteries. So anytime one is dead and I need to swap it out, I can easily pop it right back in there. So I've also got pegs for my tripod, headphones, keyboard. Pretty much anything I need to create content is going to be readily accessible right here. To light the space, I've got these magnetic lights so that I'm still able to see everything that's going on down here. And once again, up top is going to be the shelf where I pretty much store any other cameras that I'm not using currently. But I'm not gonna lie, y'all, this is getting a little out of hand. Now, one of the biggest things I wanted to focus on when building this office was definitely focusing on modularity. Whether it's my roommates or friends who are visiting, I've pretty much built multiple workstations all around the office where anyone can plug in their laptop and once again get straight to work. Now, as you guys can see, this workstation is pretty much powered by a dongle so that anyone can plug in their laptop and get it directly connected to this monitor. We had to make sure that everything in here was going to be a standing desk, because trust me, sitting at a desk for long hours on end is really not an effective way to make sure that you're staying in your flow state. So for us, every hour or two, we try and stand up for a couple of minutes just to get that blood flowing and really help re-energize our brain to get back to work. In addition to that, we've got this Opal 4K webcam, which is great anytime we're taking video calls with brands or sponsors that we're working with. So having a high quality webcam has been crucial to ensure that we look professional on camera. And then in addition to that, anytime I need to do a quick talking headshot, I've got a camera already mounted so I can literally just turn it on and start recording. And then finally, once again, anytime I need to do a quick voiceover, I've got a mic already mounted so I can really just plug in my laptop, record the voiceover, and get it straight to my editing software. So once again, this entire desk setup is really focused on modularity so that regardless of any type of work that people are doing, they're really going to be able to maximize their productivity and stay in their flow state, which for me is so crucial as a creator. But let's keep it moving. And lastly, we've got this third standing desk for my roommate Summer, but once again is a great workspace for anyone who needs to come here and just plug in. And then lastly is going to be our printer setup. Now, if you guys don't know, I recently launched my online print business, Summer Chateau, which is a compilation of all my best photography works over the past couple of years. And in order to really get this business up and running, well, we needed to invest in this baby right here. Clearly, this is one of the biggest investments I've made yet, but it's an Epson SureColor P7570. And let me tell you that the photos that come out of this thing are so sharp and so crisp. I've been massively impressed not only with the quality of the prints that I've been able to get, but also just the color accuracy and the depth of the tones, which are not only dependent on the printer, but also on the types of paper we use. So once again, I've got another pegboard system mounted. So including the one that's already in the printer, we have 4 different types of papers depending on the type of photo that we're printing. Guys, I can assure you that we're paying attention to every fine detail. Make sure that you guys are getting the highest quality prints possible. So if you guys are interested, make sure to check the link in the description down below. So once again, we've got all types of paper like matte, glossy, even a watercolor paper for that really premium texture feel. And then lastly is going to be our printer table. But let me show you guys a little bit more. But basically the process is I take this wrapping paper and I roll it around the print to ensure that it will fit in our shipping tube. And then right over here, I've got everything we need to really pack our orders, such as our stickers. And then the really great thing is that I've got these under storage compartments so I can store extra papers, gloves. And once again, the importance of having a station like this is so that anytime I get an order, I don't have to set up the entire packaging process each time because everything is already set up and ready to go. But most importantly, in order to stay on schedule, we've also got this dry erase calendar. However, this is crucial for me to meet the deadlines for all the different types of sponsors and brands we're working with. It really just allows me to see my month at a very quick glance and ensure I'm staying on track to finish all the projects I need to. But let's go ahead and check out the studio. Oh shit, hey, welcome into the studio. Now clearly the studio is probably my biggest baby I've ever built. Not only because the entire massive gallery wall behind me is probably my best creation yet, having an entire space where I can solely dedicate to creating videos has not only maximized my workflow, but once again allowed me to build setups so that all I have to do is literally just plug in my camera and get straight to recording. Rather than worry about setting up all these complicated lights and stands, I've really been able to build a system so that I'm able to be as streamlined as possible. But without further ado, let me go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a tour. Right here is obviously going to be our gallery gallery wall. And I didn't think it was gonna be possible, but somehow I figured out the perfect combination for everything to just look so magnificent. And I have to say, just being able to see all my photos like this displayed is really one of a kind feeling. Like, I've never had my own gallery, so the fact that I was able to build an entire wall here at this house is probably one of my favorite accomplishments here yet. Now, once again, we got some of my favorite photos everywhere from Paris, Venice, Kenya, New York, Florence, Italy. And once again, all these photos will be available on our website over at summerchateau.com. Now, probably one of the biggest DIY renovations I had to make was actually installing this contraption right here. Now, as you guys can see, it's mounted pretty sturdily to the wall so that anytime I need to start recording, I can literally just throw this thing up, hit the light switch, and it's already ready. But I can guarantee you that if you're living in a small space like this, I definitely recommend checking out these boom mounted arms, which will be linked in the description down below. All I have to do is literally just fold it up and it goes straight against the wall, as they've not only helped me save time so I don't have to worry about setting light stands up every single time, but really allow me to angle it anywhere I need to depending on where I am in the room and the type of set that I'm trying to film. Now, I've been testing out filming from a different angle using this set as a backdrop, but in order to share with you guys a little bit more about how I lit my dream setup, well, we've got to unbox some packages. Now, one of the biggest aspects when it came to building my studio was obviously going to be lighting. Now, over the past couple of months, I've really just been using one single light to light my entire studio, and I needed to upgrade my lighting setup. But luckily, the people over at Amaran have hooked us up with a pretty dope lighting set. I'm pretty excited because lighting is so crucial to make sure your videos stand out and look so much more cinematic. So let's get to unboxing. Oh, Jesus. Now, like I said, they did not go light with the package. Let's check out what we got. All right, first and foremost, we have the Amaran 150C. This is actually a fully customizable RGB light, but for pretty much any lighting setup I've had, I really only had the options to do any bi-color temperatures. So now having the ability to do full RGB is really gonna give me a lot more control and customizability. So I'm super excited to get this one set up. However, in addition to that, they've also sent over this spotlight kit. And if you don't know what a spotlight is, well, it just helps you add a lot more texture to your lighting, because as you guys can see, it comes with a bunch of different inserts, which are called gobos, that really help you shape your light into some really customizable textures. So you got everything from window panes, trees, flowers, and these two combined are really gonna help me add so much more texture to my lighting. In addition to that, they've also sent over the Amaran P60C, which is a full LED light panel, which is also customizable with RGB. But this is really great for some top-down overhead shots where I don't really want a huge softbox. So having a slim LED panel is just gonna be a great light for me to just be able to set up anywhere I need to, still get some really powerful wattage. And last but not least is gonna be this baby right here, which is a 4-foot light tube. And you guys have probably seen this in a bunch of movies and films. Now, the great thing about having something like a light tube is that it's super flexible and portable, so you can bring this with you on any sort of shoot and still get some really powerful lighting. And the great thing is, once again, it is fully RGB customizable. For our home studio setup, this is gonna be a great practical light to put in the background and can even act as an edge light. All right, now the really great thing about these light tubes is that you can even attach one of these mini tripods so you can stand it up in the background of your shots. Wow, so right off the bat, you can definitely tell this is quite a powerful light. And once again, you can change the temperature. So if you need a cooler light or if you need to go to a more warmer tone, you can fully adjust that. And once again, you can even change the hue and saturation to really make this a pretty customizable light. But let's go ahead and jump over to our next one. Sheesh. All right, now this is quite a hefty boy right here. I'm really impressed with the entire design of this. It feels really premium. You've got some really nice styles that have some pretty good tension right here. All right, so we've got our light on the stands. Let's go ahead and put our light dome on it. All right, and let's power it on. Woo. So once again, you have a pretty powerful spectrum. This is at 20%, but then once again, we can crank it all the way up. And this is at 100%, and it's pretty bright. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have our official lighting setup here in the office, and let me go ahead and run you guys through all the products. But everything is controlled right here through the Sidus link app, so it's super convenient for me to just basically flip all my lights on and you guys can immediately see the difference. But let me go ahead and run you guys through each of them. So first one is going to be the 150C right here, which is mounted on that boom arm that you guys saw. This is really cool because I can basically change the hue and the color of my background to basically any color I want and really just set the mood of the entire scene. The main light right here is going to be this Amaran P60C, which basically acts as a key light with this nice soft diffusion. So this right here is a perfect setup for any talking headshots. And whenever I want to add a little bit more of that creative flair, well, I've got this baby right here, and obviously it just adds a lot of backlight and really gives the room a lot of ambiance. As you guys can see on the bookshelf behind here, I've also got a lot of practical lights to really give that background a lot of separation. But like I said, having this entire setup just readily available, so all I have to do is hit one button to turn all the lights on, use this remote control right here to start and stop my recording, and I basically got my entire studio setup ready. But let's go ahead and jump back into the main video. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed seeing our dream YouTube studio and office tour. I know it's been some time in the making, but it really wouldn't have been possible without all of your guys' support. And I've got to say, just being able to have such a dream office setup like this has been something I've been wanting for so long. And it's all thanks to you guys that this is possible. So if you enjoyed this, don't forget to drop a like down below. Comment what other types of videos you guys want to see. And as always folks, don't stress, finesse, Peace, y'all.